everyone, and welcome back to Cooking Historically. I am your host, Marie, and as you can see, we are yet again not in my kitchen. This particular episode of Cooking Historically is coming to you from my backyard, if you can't hear the lawnmower that's going across the street, and the wind that's probably going to keep being loud as we go through this, like that. So today, we are making sweet corn fritters. And we are doing it around a campfire because right around now we usually do the summer barn party at the Chenango County Historical Society. So I wanted to do a really summery recipe, and the best way I know how to make a summery recipe is from my days when I was a camp counselor and I cooked over fires constantly. So that's what we're doing today. As always, let's start with listing the ingredients. We need an egg, baking powder, corn of course, flour, a cup of milk, and salt for the batter. And when we fry the fritters over the fire, I'm going to be using oil again, even though the recipe does call for fat. So let's get started. First, I'm going to put my corn into a bowl. This corn has been prepared already. I have rinsed it, I've dried it to make sure that it doesn't make our fritters any more wet than they should be. Next, I'm going to put in my milk. So that's a cup of milk. Next, I'm going to put in my egg. And then I'm going to put in a teaspoon of baking powder. And next, we are going to put in a little dash of salt to taste. And finally, I am going to, yet again, put in enough flour to make it into a batter. So let's hope that this comes together okay. I'm gonna do it tablespoon by tablespoon of flour. So the consistency that we're looking for in our batter is like a thin pancake batter. That's the consistency we're looking for. So we're gonna just keep putting it in tablespoon by tablespoon of the flour until we get that consistency. All right, so I have got my corn fritter batter ready. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to put my tiny little cast iron skillet on the fire. I got this as a birthday present a while ago. The reason I don't have a bigger one is because my brother went camping this weekend and decided to take all of the cast iron skillets with him. So let's do this. Okay, so I've got my little pan on the coals. So you want to make sure if you're doing a campfire this summer, make sure first of all that you have a bucket of water out with you. Second of all, you need to make sure when you're cooking on a campfire that it gets down to coals that you're cooking on. Otherwise the fire's going to be too hot. Also make sure that you have a pot holder with you if you are using a cast iron skillet like I am, and if you're cooking over the fire, you should only be using cast iron skillets. So now I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil just to cover the bottom of the pan, and then I'm going to put in about a tablespoon of batter. If you have a bigger pan, you can always make these fritters as big as you want them, but I am limited at this moment, so. All right, so you sort of just need to keep an eye on your fritter and see how it goes, especially if you're cooking over a fire. If you're not, it'll probably take, I would say like 2 minutes on each side until it's well browned, and then you've got your corn fritters. Well, this has been another episode of Cooking Historically. So don't forget that we are doing summer at home party for the Chenango County Historical Society this year, since we are in the middle of a pandemic. So we were not able to meet for an actual summer barn party. So we're trying to do programming and stuff like that. And I picked this recipe specifically for today because it was a summery recipe and it reminds me of the food that we eat at the summer barn party. I hope that you take away from this video all of the flavor of the summer barn party, but at home. Thanks for watching, everybody, and see you next week.